Globalization is one of the central challenges of the 21st century. For companies, this demographic megatrend has revealed itself as a blessing and a curse at the same time. While some actors see the potential to launch their goods in new markets, others see themselves threatened by the exploding number of global competitors. Due to limited resources, especially smaller firms are exposed to higher risks of being left behind. In order to protect the domestic markets, a series of development projects are funded by the European Union. The Alpine space is of special interest in these development projects, considering the high density of population and companies. The strong R&D sector, with specialization on Industry 4.0 and Factory of the Future technologies, makes this area even more important. Facing new challenges in a globalized world, the BIFOCAlps project was launched in 2016. Lasting over 2 years and including partners from Austria, Germany, France, Italy, and Slovenia, the goal of this project is to boost innovation processes and to stimulate cooperation among main actors of the Alpine space innovation system for a smart and competitive development of the manufacturing value chain towards the factory of the future. The BIFOCAlps project is divided into 4 work packages, each package addressing different perspectives, tasks, and stakeholders of the topic. Work package number 3 is directly located on company level, especially addressing small to medium-sized enterprises. The task deals with the issue of missing guidance, insufficient information, and missing support for companies towards future production systems. The aim of work package number 3 is to tackle this issue by defining an indicator system or a controlling tool that supports companies to monitor their individual progress towards the factory of the future. A broad number of performance measurement systems with similar objectives have been created over the past years with varying success. In general, existing approaches aim at performing situation analysis in companies in order to identify further steps and future requirements. However, most systems share the common problem of not assessing actual impacts and achieved results from a retrospective point of view. The lack of feedback complicates a continuous application of these models as monitoring tools. According to this research gap, the indicator system presented in this video puts a special focus on capturing the impact of enabling technology and practices adoption in manufacturing enterprises. This gives companies the opportunity to monitor the effectiveness and efficiency of actions towards the factory of the future. In order to cover the wide range of different impacts in a company, from internal structural changes up to financial gains, the indicator system is based on the established IPOO model. Briefly explained, different types of inputs, including equipment, human resources, or new technologies, enter the processing system, generating direct outputs such as new products, new methods, patents, or knowledge. In the long term, the company aims to achieve its strategic objectives, transforming the outputs into outcomes, such as cost reduction, financial gains, or higher customer acquisitions. Summarizing, the IPOO framework offers an approach to combine input parameters with results on multiple levels in the company. Aiming to create a useful and practically oriented methodology, the model specifications need to be aligned to the project scope. Regarding the selection of relevant input parameters, over 100 interviews were conducted in earlier stages of the BIFOCAlps project in order to identify critical challenges towards the factory of the future. The findings are summarized in a list of 5 critical success factors, each containing specified guidelines and recommendations for companies. The identified key success factors range from an appropriate company strategy, the company's efforts in testing new technologies, its capacity to facilitate innovation, up to external and internal conditions supporting the transformation process. The guidelines belonging to each success factor allow the users to determine the current maturity of the company in the respective field. Explained by the example of the success factor skills and change management, companies need to evaluate factors such as the mindset of the employees, their digital skills, or the possibility of further qualification in the company. The individual maturities of each guideline reveal critical needs for action, which directly serve as inputs for the IPOO framework. Summarizing, the first part of the indicator system contains a qualitative maturity assessment according to the 5 critical success factors and respective guidelines. The evaluation serves to identify challenges and necessary improvements, in other words, necessary inputs towards the factory of the future. These results form the basis for the second part of the indicator system. Having defined the inputs to the indicator system, the remaining parts of the IPOO framework, including the elements processing system, outputs, and outcomes, display results on various levels in the company. In this context, the processing system characterizes the performance and the efficiency of the production system. According to the IPOO framework, impacts on these 3 levels can be assessed using simple KPIs, which have to be chosen for every company specifically, according to the inputs defined, to company-specific goals, to the existing database, and so on. To give an example, the processing system can be evaluated focusing on quality and efficiency, for example using KPIs such as the rejection rate or the degree of automation. As defined previously, output KPIs focus on direct results such as new products, new processes, or the qualification structure in the company. And outcomes are finally defined from a strategic point of view, assessing the overall success in terms of reduced costs, higher market shares, or the number of new customers. Concluding, the impact indicator system is completed with a list of KPIs for the 3 model elements, which have to be adapted to company-specific goals and requirements. The model therefore offers an approach to link specific actions towards the factory of the future with specific indicators to measure the impact and the success of these actions. As foreseen by the IPOO framework, the approach is not meant to be applied sporadically. Based on the feedback loops on each level, the indicator system needs to be applied and maintained repeatedly until the company achieves the desired objectives. The presented methodology particularly addresses small to medium-sized companies in need of guidance and support structures. The approach enables these companies to monitor their individual progress and to identify further requirements towards the factory of the future. By putting the concept into practical application, the developed methodology contributes to create competitive advantages and finally to strengthen European markets against emerging global market players. For further information on the indicator system and the results of the other work packages, please visit the official website of the BIFOCAlps project.